Hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Saturday morning to you. I know it's been a while. I've been traveling around like crazy, but man, it has been really, really good. Love what we get to do. And man, the cool thing is I've got a special guest today, as you can see. So Rusty, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Rusty Lorman. I teach air conditioning and plumbing at Naaman Forest High School in Garland, Texas.
Hey, Colton, if you'll come back in here and give me a hand just a minute, please. Today we're going to be talking about plumbing is so easy a teenager can do it. And I know that's going to upset a lot of y'all, but, you know, I hate to say it, it's kind of true. We do a lot of cool stuff, but it is easy. If you know what you're doing, would you bring my rotation screen up where I can hit pause and stop and all that? Special thanks to Colton and Randy for coming in and getting everything set up this morning. And also, if we can straighten those up a little bit, that'd be wonderful. But today we're talking about plumbing is so easy a teenager can do it. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. It's good to have you here. Today, man, we're talking about plumbing, but we're talking about how easy it is. And literally, I mean, I started learning plumbing when I was 16 years old. I got a job. I was working, making money at it. Rusty's an instructor for plumbing and HVAC in one of the local high schools. And literally kids are about 16 years old when they start learning it.
Yes, some of them as low as 14.
So, you know, man, think about that, 14 years old and learning a trade. So the cool thing about it is it works. Now, the cool thing is they have put a little bitty man up on top of the camera. So that and I just noticed that it's a little construction worker, which is kind of cute, but you know, it tells me where to look. So that's a good deal. Anybody who has a question, please put a Q in front of it and I'll make sure that it gets asked. I want to figure out how to fix this over here. I need to make that go away. Okay, so there it is right there. All right. See, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything situated the way it should be. How are y'all doing? Oh, I think oh, well. I'll make that go away here in a minute. But welcome. I've been traveling around. 2 weeks ago, I left. I went to Columbus, Ohio, flew up there, drove up to Lima, which was neat. I got to stop at, I think it was local 776 up there and visit the guys there. Then drove up to Lima, spoke at a social media marketing conference. Left there, went to Chicago, spoke there to entrepreneurs about YouTube and how to use it to grow businesses and things like that. Do your kids watch a lot of social media?
Every day.
Every day.
It's their favorite pastime. It's what they like to do.
You know, the cool thing is, though, there's so much that kids can learn that. And I realized that because I had a plumber working for me, an apprentice. And when I took him out in the field, we'd do something and he'd go home and get on YouTube or something and learn another way to do it and say, well, hey, man, I found a different way, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
Do your kids go home and watch YouTube and learn?
The ones that take it serious do. They'll watch a lot of your channel, actually. You know what I mean? And
well, I am the best looking plumber on YouTube. You know, okay, maybe not.
But, you know, they do that. And it's a way that they can expand their education on their own, you know. And if they're going to want to go into the field, they're going to need to figure out ways because – honestly, it's YouTube has fixed a lot of my cars. You know,
there's a lot of good mechanics on YouTube.
You know, I can't figure it out. YouTube it, man. You know, can I imagine like, you know, being on a rooftop somewhere with a question nowadays, not having to call technical support. You can literally look it up on your phone. And
not only that, you get somebody showing you actually how to do it, and that part is really, really cool.
Very.
So I want to jump in the comments real quick. Andrew Genovese says, Roger, do you know my grandma's shore house had 3 American Standard plebes and they never clogged. Even if I took a heavy, yeah, you're being funny. Andrew, you'll get blocked really, really quick. I'm just going to let you know because I can remove you from this channel. Yeah, just trying to be funny doesn't work. Randy, go ahead and block Andrew. Thank you. We'll make that easy. Denver Charboy says, found out I might have skin cancer. Please, all you blue-collar workers, wear sunscreen. It's no joke. And, man, it's
100.
not. I recommend go to a dermatologist and get checked often.
Yes.
You get spots, and I mean, like maybe I got some kind of something on my head right now. But yeah, definitely, check it out. Andres Hernandez, how are you? Good to see you in here. Mike Steffler says full valve. Andres says hello from California. Sean Davis in the house. Isaiah Paris, happy to be here. I'm glad you're here. Street Gamer 109 says, I own a small drain cleaning business. How can I get my phone ringing? And I'll tell you what, I started doing social media to make the phone ring at my plumbing company. And it worked. And if you're on Facebook, I ask everybody who has a Facebook account that's in plumbing, do your friends know what you do?
Yeah.
It's crazy because I started doing social media to make my phone ring, and literally it works.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you often post about what you do, about plumbing, about HVAC or anything like that? Do most of your people even know
Yes.
that you do HVAC and
Oh,
plumbing?
yes. I'm here in Texas. Yeah, I'm invited to everybody's family reunion.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody does. I mean, that's something that if you're not on social media, if you're not doing that, I mean, you're really missing the boat because there's no phone book anymore. You literally have to be
They
on
make them. They still try to get you to advertise on them. Just not that many people are looking at them.
And a good review on Facebook or someone post about your company, you're going to get a lot more off of that.
Game changer.
Yes.
I like this. Sean Davis says, "How would I get started in the field?" And look, Rusty teaches plumbing and HVAC in high school, and literally from the very beginning,
Yes.
that they can come into high school and say, "Look, I want to learn the trades."
Yes. From a freshman on.
Man, that is so cool. Remember TikTok, Instagram. If you're interested, jump over onto YouTube, ask a question. Let me know that you came over here from there. Love to see y'all and hear you and know what's going on. And I'm going to pull one of my banners up. We just released our app store, our app. And I teach people things that you want to know, how to get started in the field. It's educational. It's for people that want to get into the trades, people that are in the trades already but want to get better, people that are in the trades but want to start their own business, and people that are entrepreneurs and they want to learn how to grow their businesses. So neat stuff. You can click on it down below. And we're going to do a big launch here in a couple of days because there's some paid levels. And I'll say a couple of days here in the next couple of weeks. There are some paid levels, and we're going to do a really good Founders Day package. But to get started in the field, first of all, figure out what trade you want to be in. Yes. Then you got to figure out, do you want to do residential, commercial, industrial? Do you want to do service or new construction? Or do you want to be union or non-union? So there's a lot of choices. And I recommend getting into the right place from the very get-go. Now, in high school, you pretty much probably teach residential, right?
Yes, unfortunately, we are kind of.
Oh, that's not unfortunate.
Right
that's
now.
A good thing.
Yeah, we want to make sure that they get a well-rounded, you know what I mean? But because we would like to expose them to it.
You bet.
Long before, because if they could make that decision in high school, it only helps their career. But unfortunately, it's expensive.
And you said something earlier, y'all are fixing to start teaching chilled water?
Yes, so Garland did buy us some chilled water trainers, and I do believe we will be the only high school in Texas teaching chilled water.
That is so cool. I remember when I walked in, because I studied HVAC at Lindsay Cooper, and I remember walking in and they've got a chiller, and they're like, here's a chiller. I'm like, dude, I've seen chillers. I didn't know chiller. But it wasn't as big as the ones I'd worked on, but it was really, really neat. So anyway, to get started in the trades, figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. And then if it's residential service, look on TV and find out who's advertising, who's making commercials. If it's construction, drive downtown where the tower cranes are and see who the mechanical contractor is on it. And man, that's a great way to get started.
Yeah. Or just go to a subdivision and find a plumbing truck, because I guarantee they're hiring.
Yeah, residential plumbing companies, that they're hiring all day. Drive into a new subdivision. Mm-hmm. And when you see a truck with pipe on it and stuff like that, walk in and say, hey, man, Who do y'all work for? Are y'all hiring? What's the address?
Yes.
And there's a ton of different things that you can do there. Clint Orris says, with all due respect, what is up with this title? Is it satire? No. I'm a legitimate union, 5-year apprenticeship, working service at factories, schools, hospitals, military bases. We're skilled. And Clint, I'm not saying anybody's not skilled, but Rusty teaches high school students.
Yes.
I've been at Skills USA this week, and most of these kids are teenagers. And to watch them compete, there was a kid there that's headed to France because he's competing at the world level now.
Yes.
So teenagers can do it. It's a great place to. I was 16 when I started, and it was easy. It's easy for me to learn. It's easy for me to do, but it's easy to grab those tools, get out and start working with them. I'm not saying a teenager can run a plumbing company.
No.
I'm not saying that they can walk into a house and do everything, but Clint, we need to recruit people into the trades, and they've got to understand that, look, as a teenager, you can get in and do it.
Yes.
You can learn it and grow and make a great living at it.
Like right now, my seniors can pull and replace a water heater. They can install garbage disposals, install dishwashers. They can remove sinks, replace valves, install shower valves, do tub and drains. The only thing that we focus in on top outs and trims. Can't do roughs yet, but we're trying to move towards that. The overall goal is that they can actually get out and get a job and be profitable employee day one. That would be the awesomest thing.
Man, I love that. And, you know, the things you're teaching is residential service, and most of them don't do underground anyway. Now, you may tunnel under there to fix a pipe. We do a lot of that, but I think that's just a great place to learn. Salutations from the RGV. Yusuf, thank you very much. And the agency says, hello from Virginia, first year plumbing. Man, somebody in their first year of plumbing out in the field, what would you tell them? What advice?
Drink plenty of water.
Yeah, hydrating is big.
And stay with it. Don't give up. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have good days, but it's going to get easier, you know?
And my thing is never stop learning. Yeah. Never stop learning. The creator repo, how we doing? Says, loved meeting you in Lima, Ohio. How ironic. I needed one of your videos today. Changing a toilet flange since I had to take my toilet out from someone flushing something down it. Joseph, how are you doing? Thank you for jumping in here. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that, or hopefully the videos that I've done about toilet flanges helped you out. Ryan Lamb says, pertaining to the skin cancer statements, I used to always laugh at the guys wearing long sleeves in the summer. Now I do the same. Please take care of yourself so you can take care of your families.
100.
Man, it's huge. And I had a real good friend, one of the first people Randy worked for, literally got skin cancer, melanoma, and found out about it and didn't last very long. Yeah. So, man, it's something we've got to take care of ourselves no matter what.
And I think that's one thing that's really exciting is that no longer, because you're a construction or tradesman, do you have to be that tough guy.
Yeah.
It's okay now to put sunscreen on.
You bet.
You know, it's okay to wear a face mask when you're around fiberglass insulation. You don't have to be that guy anymore.
Yep.
You know?
And guys, taking care of yourself, there's nothing at all wrong with that. Yeah. You need to be exercising. You need to be eating right. You need to be positioning your body, taking care of your body so that you can last long term. DH says, question, is it true that if I pull the TMP valve, it is compromised and needs to be replaced? No, to be honest, in the very beginning, you should test a TMP valve about every year. If you've got one that hasn't been activated in 3 or 4 years, I wouldn't be the guy to service it, to run it through a cycle, because if it starts leaking, then they're going to expect you to replace it. MC says, love your content. Hello, Miss Libby Garcia. How are you doing? This is a great topic. You're right.
It's an excellent topic.
It is, man. We can get people in and teach them from a young age and let them learn to make more money. Rashente says, is 38 years old too old to get into plumbing? No. It's not. It is literally, I know people that were an apprentice at the age in their 50s. So there's a lot to it. You can do a lot of different things.
Yeah. That's one thing that I tell my students is it's like a spider web. just because you started a certain thing doesn't mean that that's where you got to finish. I mean,
bet.
you could go into sales and actually never touch a tool, but just sell jobs all day. You could go into estimating, where you're just estimating the profit of a job. There's 1,000 different things in the trades. It's not always about having a tool in your hand.
You know, and Randy, y'all squirt. I've got him in videos. I talk about him all the time. But here's the deal: he literally moved up into the office and was one of their top estimators. So, you don't have to be out in the field all day, every day. Miss Libby says, just sent 2 young men your way that are interested in a career in plumbing. Fantastic. Man, I just met so many kids, and I say kids. I got to go to Skills USA in Atlanta, the national competition. Number 1, Belton, Texas, nailed it. They had a team, and to watch this team work, they literally start basically building a house. And it's just a small section, but they build a house. They got plumbing, electrical, roofing, masonry.
Yes.
And to watch them do all these things is just phenomenal.
And they literally have 8-hour work days.
Yeah. You start in the morning.
Multiple days.
They take breaks.
Yes.
And yeah, it's an all week deal.
And it has to be done per code.
It is so cool.
You know, anything having to do with Skills USA is amazing. All these people out here that are looking for good young help, just go to your local Skills USA competition and hire any kid that's on the stage. That kid's going to be a quality employee.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. MC says, thoughts on garbage disposals. Do you have any horror stories related to them? Mine's not really a horror story. Mine is, I kept trying to tell this guy over the phone, look, here's what you need to do. And his garbage disposal was jammed. And I kept telling him, grab a plunger, flip it over, spin it. You can get it to unjam. Look down in it. There'll be anything from keys to coins to screws to nails, something in there, a bone. I said, something in there is jamming it up, and that's why you're hearing that humming noise. It's trying to kick on, but something's got it jammed. And he literally called me back a little bit later. He's like, look, I've tried everything. It's not working. I said, okay. I said, but I'm telling you, I'm going to come in and do the exact same thing I told you to do. It's going to take me less than 5 minutes. He said, no, you're going to end up having to replace it. So I stopped and picked one up. Went over there, literally walked in. Within 2 minutes, it was unjammed. Shined my light down there, grabbed my needle nose pliers, and pulled out a little screw. He said that's where it went. And he looks up. He had changed the light bulb in his light fixture above it, lost one of the screws, couldn't find it, and that's what jammed his disposal. And, of course, he looks at me and he said, but you're going to charge me, aren't you? I said, I told you I was.
Absolutely.
I said, not only that, I stopped and picked one up. Now I've either got to take it back or whatever. So, yeah, it's cost me a lot of time today.
Yep.
Laying pipe says gluing pipe is the easy part. It is, but somebody asked me the other day, is it really important that I put primer on? Well, yeah, it's part of the directions. They want this pipe to last. And he says, man, I've been roughing in pipes forever and hadn't been gluing it or hadn't been putting primer on. Yeah, that's why they have leaks under houses. Yeah. Capitan says, I just got hired to a plumbing company, but they haven't called me in yet. Should I wait or apply to other companies? I tell you what, I would go back down there. I mean, literally get up Monday morning, get dressed like you're going to work and show up and say, hey, just check out, are y'all ready or what's the deal?
Yeah.
They may be waiting on you to see if you're coming in. I'd show up bright and early Monday morning and say, come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Itsoak says, I'm in a bind. Very good salesman, either going to a sales job or to do plumbing. What are your thoughts? You can do both.
Yeah. You can be a salesman for the plumbing company or at a supply shop.
I would rather be at the plumbing company. I think you'll make more money. But also, if you can learn HVAC and become a HVAC salesperson,
A lot.
or you do both. I would have loved to have a great salesperson that could come in and talk about whole house water filtration systems, slab leaks and leak detection. That's just another thing you can learn. But if you're a good salesman, man, all that is learning to communicate with people.
That's it.
And learning to listen to people. So if you're good at that, man, you can make a great living. Avi4 says we have a split company. There we go. One side does sales, the other does repair and installs. And man, the thing is, like, you can do it all. You can work at a company and learn how to go out and become a great salesman. It works. Just being silly. Thank you. Good morning. Plates says, man, I wish I got into plumbing when I was a teen.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that.
You know, most of the people that I interview, and Rusty came in earlier, I interviewed him over here on the podcast. Most people that I interview, when I ask them, you know, one thing you'd go back and tell yourself or whatever, they're like, I always wish I'd have got in sooner. So the opportunity's all up to you.
But there's a little bit more to that. If you don't support it at your local high school, then it's going to go away. Right now here in Texas, we got a big push for CT education, career technology education. But if companies and business owners and tradesmen don't step up and take their part in it, then that English teacher with those glasses is going to take it over and it's going to change. So we really have to do our part to make sure it stays correct.
And I tell them that all the time. I'm like, look, the opportunities out there are phenomenal. It's just, man, it blows my mind. HVAC is where the money's at.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
I'm not going to disagree. I mean, I'm not. You can make great money as a plumber, but I mean, you can make some really great money as an HVAC tech, especially if you get into sales. It's really good.
As long as you can handle an attic.
Yeah, you got to be able to handle the heat. And if you're an installer, man, you got to be able to get up there and get in, get your money made. And really, you're there from March to November. Somewhere around in there, maybe September or October.
That's one thing that I did love about HVAC is it is seasonal. So I love hunting, I love fishing, I love Christmas. Therefore,
it's easy to take time off at that time of year.
Time.
And guys, if y'all are on TikTok or Instagram, do me a favor. If you've got questions, jump over to YouTube. Actually, just go to YouTube, search plumbing, scroll down till you see the mustache. Go down, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, but jump in. I'd love to hear any questions that y'all have got, and I cannot see them all the way over there. I wish I could, but I'd love to know what's going on with y'all. IB4 says no money in rough in or top out. Service and repair is the moneymaker. You can make money in rough in and top out and setting fixtures, and you can make money in construction, but you can make a lot more in service. If you learn to be a great communicator, and to me, that's what sales is. You look at everybody's problems and then just come back with options. And I had this conversation the other day, and this guy says, look, I hate sales. I said, oh my God, me too. He says, so how'd you become a good plumber? I don't look at it as sales. I would go to look at one job and I tell them, hey, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and check your whole house just because I'm a plumber. And I remember going up into an attic one time, and I told the lady, I said, look, you got 2 water heaters up there that are 14 years old. They're right above your living room. I took pictures of the boilerplate so I can show you. I said, I just want to make you aware of it because if they ever ruptured or flooded, it would be devastating. She called me a week and a half later. She said, I wish I'd have listened to you. She said, I left town on Friday, came back on Monday, and water was literally pouring out my back door, going into the pool and down to the golf course. One of the water heaters ruptured. Her entire ceiling was in her floor. Wow. So, man, it's not sales, guys. It's just letting them know what problems they have.
That's a crappy day.
Yeah, not good at all. Octavius the Crafter says, I plan to become a D1 contractor. I am thinking of getting an associate's degree in building construction technology. How much do you think that will help me advance my career? I think anytime you can learn anything, it's good. You know, and Rusty and I talked about this in the podcast. Look, you don't have to go to college. But you know what? If you want an associate's degree in construction management, you're going to have to learn that somewhere. And you can learn a lot of good things.
What's the one thing you can invest in that you never lose at?
Yourself, your education, your knowledge.
Yourself. Always invest in yourself, man.
Every day. Andrew Brown, Skilled Trades. What's up, brother? 40% off men and women. 40% of men and women are retiring over the next 5 to 10 years. Now's the time to learn a trade, be a sponge, and soak up all the knowledge. from mentors in your trade. It's an exciting time to be in the trades. Andrew Brown, good to see you in here. I did not see you at Skills. Good to see you, brother. Chris, I sent you a message. Good morning, brother. How you doing? And Chris, you may have replied, I have not checked my messages in 2 weeks. I've been traveling the world, but I need to reach out to you. Todd Payne says, good to see you though. Tad Payne says 46, have done plumbing as an apprentice a couple of years under my grandfather, but now he's too old and I don't have my license. What's the best way to get my plumbing license? And Tad, it depends on what state you're in because it's going to be different in every state. In Texas, if he's a master plumber, he might be able to sign off on some of your hours. But maybe not, just because in Texas it says, look, you're supposed to register as an apprentice from the get-go. Check with the AHJ, the authority having jurisdiction in Texas. That's the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners at that level. A lot of states have an online, so you can go online and check and see what you need to do. But Tad, man, just because you're 46, don't think that you can't do it. If you're in Texas and you're like, look, man, I've got years of experience, I could hire you as an apprentice, put you with the journeyman, and man, if you can knock stuff out and work on your own and do things and we don't have to babysit you, I can still make money on you. I can put you with a great plumber and say, hey, you go install the water heater and let him do everything else so you can still be productive and make money. But I'd find out per the state you're in what you need to do. Andres Hernandez says, never stop learning, go to trade shows, learn and use in the field. And man, the biggest part right there is never stop learning. And that's something I try to teach tradespeople all day, every day. Look, I was a sucker. That was me. I got my license in 83, joined the union in 97. I learned, 97. I learned nothing for like 14 years. Hate to say that, but it's true. Man, it's up to you whether you learn and grow or not. And that's exactly how I'd look at it. IMB says, morning to Chris. How you doing? Lord Garth says, Dad was a pipe fitter and taught me to do my own plumbing when I was a kid. Basic stuff is super easy. When I bought my first house, I just called him a couple of times. Yeah, when I had to repipe it. Then the good thing is, man, we can learn what to do and we can fix a lot of our own stuff. That to me is one of the coolest things about being in the trades. Normally, if I got a problem around the house, I'll take care of it. Now, I did have to change an HVAC system, and I don't do that. But other than that, I'm like, look, man, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah, that is one thing that when I was working that would really piss me off is you get the phone call on the way home.
Yeah.
Hey, this is broke. Oh, great. Now I get to go home and work some more,
Yeah. It's kind of like that old billboard says, your wife just called me. She's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soak says, I don't know, just having to buy my own truck first and then try to make that investment back. Yes, I'll learn a skill, but would I go under a house to fix or in an attic? Wouldn't want to. And here's the thing. You've got to be able to get in an attic, get under a house. You've got to be able to do things like that. It's not always fun, but you know what the thing is? It's not like we do that every single day. Now, HVAC people in the summertime, yeah, you're going to get up in the attic a lot, but maybe still not then every day. Plates says, I just made $2,000 the other day in 2 hours repairing 7 toilets for a church.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice lick.
Yeah. Dakota Goodle, trying to get it right. Question, I got an offer to do service, but I'm afraid I won't make as much as I am in new construction, 44 an hour. What do I do? Look, I tell people all the time, I think you can make more money on service. Maybe not from the very beginning, but I mean, look at some of the podcasts that we do over on the Trade Talks, y'all. I've got people over there that are in HVAC and service that make $350,000 a year. I know plumbers that make $250,000 a year.
The more dirty you're willing to get, the more money you're
The
going to
more
make.
money you can make.
That's service.
Yeah, and I had it put to me this way a long time ago. You are paid in direct relation or direct proportion as to the size of the problem that you solve. The bigger the problem you can solve, the more money you're going to make.
That's right.
And normally the biggest problems are people that have stuff that doesn't work and they want fixed. And man, that's all I can tell you. I like this is if you're fast, you can make way more than 44 an hour doing commission service.
Yes.
Plumbing depends on where you live too, though. You know, and you've got to know what area you're in, what's the going rate, what's it cost, what are they billing per hour. There's a lot of things you need to know. Hello, Brother Shreves. How you doing? Chris Shreves in the house. Good to see you. Dakota says Southern Utah. It's pretty competitive, but a lot of growth. And it probably is, Dakota. And look, we did a video here in Southern Utah the other day. We were up in Hurricane, Utah, just outside of St. George. And man, I looked at a lot of stuff they were doing there. The possibilities to work are everywhere, guys. If they've got houses, if they've got plumbing, if they've got HVAC, they need somebody to come in.
Yes.
Guardian Plumber says, I'm 28 and want to learn the plumbing trade. I went to an electrical school and the sparky life isn't for me. I wish I realized it before I wasted 10 months. You know, I would tell you though, Guardian Plumber, you probably learned some good things. You probably learned safety, OSHA. You learned about some tools. You learned a lot of different stuff. So what I would tell you is look, don't look at that as wasted time. Now, when you go apply for a plumbing company, and you tell them, look, I've got almost a year experience in the field, in a truck, whatever it is, you can get credit for that and make more money.
I mean, plumbers have to connect the electricity also, right?
You know, we do. We're not supposed to, but, you know, in Texas, you're just hooking up a water heater or a garbage disposal, stuff like that. And I like the new incinerators. And they've literally got it now where it's a plug. You just snap that thing in on the bottom of the garbage disposal, plug it in. It's amazing. Chris says, it's very important to do everything possible to protect yourself. Eat well, stretch. Respiratory is major. Dude, that is huge. Actually read SWPs and JPs to do your hazard assessments properly. Guys, you've got to know, and man, anytime we got a new chemical on the job, I wanted to see the MSDS sheet on it just to know, look, what do they recommend that I wear for safety protection? Do I need a respirator? Do I need just a dust mask? Do I need a face shield or just goggles? What do I need? And know what you need.
That's one thing I tell my students. A lot of times the reason why that is a safety rule is because someone got injured. They don't just up and make a rule. There's a reason why you have to be so many feet from a concrete wall being lifted. It's probably because the concrete wall fell at some point in time and
somebody got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always for that reason, guys. So that's what they have us do it for. There's a link to the app as it is scrolling across the bottom. Also, if you haven't gone over there, guys, number one, if you want to check out the app, really easy. If you've got Apple, text to the word Wakefield to 26786. If you have an Android, text the word Outhouse to 26786. It'll take you right to the app. Andrew says, yes, sir. It works. IB4 says, comp company is a huge issue here. Commercial, maybe? I don't know. Is a huge issue here in California. California is B for comp work. Okay. Huge money for the tech and the company with comp pay, but Cali is a pain. But here's the deal. You don't have to have a license in California. You can literally go become a plumber in 3 or 4 months. If you're good and you learn, there's no license. The company owner has to have a license, the contractor license. But like if I'm the licensed contractor in California, I hire you for a month or two and decide, look, you're pretty good at this. I can send you out to do whatever I want you to do.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty wild. Construction Crony says, yep, get in there early Monday morning, ready to go. They will, if smart, get you going immediately. Yeah, and this is the one who already got hired. So guys do. And I'd be over there saying, hey, why aren't I working yet? Plumbing in Seattle is great money. Our minimum service charge is $375. And guys, look, the minimum service charge is dependent upon the company. I know companies in Dallas charging $125 an hour. I know companies in Dallas charging $575 an hour. Their price books are built on that. So I'm just telling you, man, go to work for a company that you can make good money and you can learn and grow. Miss Amber Mendoza in the house says, thank you for all you do, Rusty. Still a North Garland Raider at heart.
Well, thank you.
Poor girl. North Garland Raiders. Chris says, I started as an industrial sprinkler fitter when I was 15 years old. Then went to college 3 years, then 2 years in university to study marketing and software, and still stuck with the trades. And guys, you need to go check out Chris over at Construction Cronies. Go check out his channel. He's a metal tin installing carpenter. And man, it's cool to watch. I've never, number one, I always thought the metal studs were crazy. But then you watch him do it, and he talks about the different gauges and why and stuff like that. Just a great channel to learn from. And plumbers, steel stud has a hard and soft side. Don't put your water lines in the soft side without a cap. You're going to get a flood. Yes. And I used to love it because once I figured out, man, you can go through there with a stud punch, stick in the inserts and slide your pipe in. It's never been easier. Andrew says, sorry, we missed each other in Skills USA. It was amazing seeing the next generation of tradespeople, amazing talent. Left early Thursday. Next time you're in New York, stakes are on me. Looking forward to it, brother. And yeah, I got in Thursday. So I was there Thursday and Friday and then got home last night. Jason Smith, good morning to you. Good to see you. Isaiah Paris says, I did have a job doing commercial and it was great. And I completely messed it up. Not showing up for work for a week after my car got crashed into, then I got fired. It's my fault. Well, number one, I love the fact that you took the blame, Isaiah. Yeah. But here's what I tell you too, is if you did good before you left, you might be able to go back. If it's been a little while, go back and say, guys, look, I know I messed up, but I really want to learn this. I want to do this. And even if it's not them, you can go to work to another company and be honest. Say, look, I got fired from over here because I had a wreck and I couldn't get to work. And now I have reliable transportation. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
And that's one thing, about the trades. A lot of times you can get that second chance.
You bet.
Absolutely. I mean, because I've been let go from my job when I was younger for doing stupid things. Because guess what? I was young. I was stupid. But one thing I do want to say.
Young, dumb, and full of stupidity.
Is protect that driver's license.
Yeah.
Protect that driver's license.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to need it one day.
It's kind of hard to get a job in this industry if you do not have a driver's license. You can't drive the company truck if you don't have a driver's license.
And if you've had a lot of tickets for speeding and stuff like that, they're not going to let you drive anyway because they're going to run your report.
And it's not the company that doesn't want to give it to you. It's the insurance.
It's the insurance company that says, yeah, we won't let them do this.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Ivy Force says, I started cleaning, cutoff, and other crap for my family, new home construction company at age 5, did auto repair. At 29, joined a small business plumbing company. Look, here's the deal. And we were talking about this earlier. Go watch the podcast with Rusty. It'll be out next week or two. Here's the deal. I learned how to be a good mechanic from helping my dad. And I think that started at the age of 5 or 6. It's like, hey, I'm going to work on the car. Let's go. Yeah. It wasn't, do you want to come help me or anything like that? It's like, get your shoes on. Let's go. We got work to do. But that's how I learned to do it. So, man, anybody can do it. And I'm going to bounce back to the app right there just because, guys, I think this app is amazing. The morning motivationals. I got interviewed right before I left town. And one of the guys interviewing me, and I didn't even know they knew about my app. But towards the end of the interview, said, man, we want to talk to you about your app. I'm like, oh, wow, y'all saw my app? And they said, yeah. And he's like, I've never seen an app like this. This is phenomenal. How'd you do it? And I'm like, man, I kept coming back to him, say, wait, I want to do this. I want to do this. So crazy. Months later, I was at the top. My guy came number 2 in the company. Yeah. Look, you can move up and do as good as you can be the best in your industry, in your area, if you want to. Isaiah Paris says that was 6 months ago, and I've been homeless since then. Man, get out and get a job, brother. Yeah. The good thing is everybody in trades is looking for people. Isaiah, where are you located at? Says 3 months there. Construction Company says that's awesome, crazy. How different times are now. I'm a proud papa. My son started with me last summer at 16, still with me. He finished high school, then apprenticeship electrical.
Good for you.
And you know, man, it's cool. Your son's in the trades.
He's pipe fitting.
Your niece is in the trades.
My niece is pipe fitting also.
So, and you know, the next one here, Randy, man, I tried getting him in the unit as a plumber, and he changed over to pipe fitter. I'm like, what the what? Isaiah, I pulled some things in my days learning through some hard times. Keep your head up and don't give up. The key is the next opportunity you will get. Don't repeat the mistakes you've learned. And I got to tell you, and we talked about this in the podcast. Man, Randy went through a tough time. I went through a tough time. I will tell you what, I went through a really tough time. When Randy was little, I didn't want to get out of bed. And Randy, my alarm, I had one of these big sound blasters, stereo systems that also worked as an alarm. It'd be next to my bed, turned up full blast. I didn't move. Randy would literally come in there and say, Dad, you got to get up and go to work. You got to get up. And I'd get up. So, I mean, I went through it too. I just got lucky. Randy was there to support me. Hey, get up. You got to go to work. So, and I don't know what happened, but somewhere down the road, I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to get up. So we all make mistakes, but we can learn from it and grow. Chris says, that's awesome. Chris, that's great. IB4, that's what I'm talking about. It's great parenting, teaching your kids to be the best workers. Okay. And man, I got to tell you, Randy, when he got back in and got the pipe fitting and all that, Randy could fit for 2 welders and keep them busy. And that's not an easy job to do, but it does work. Guardian Plumber says, thank you. My son and his best friend at age 6 liked what I did. They both entered the field at age 22. My son's bailed after a few years. His best friend is now a supervisor. I love that part. My son and his best friend at age 6. Okay, so that is now supervisor Chris. Yes. Tina says, hi, Roger. Just want to let you know I didn't get my prize pack from contest that you had several weeks ago. Tina, where did you connect with us? Was it on LinkedIn? Where did you connect where we get it? Because I thought Randy and them told me we had sent everything out. So if you'll have a conversation with Henry Wakefield in here, we will make sure that does happen. Randy and I think Colton are both in here, so you should have got it by now. I want to apply for an electrician apprenticeship, but I'm looking for an electrical companies. I'm from South America and struggling, looking for an apprenticeship. And number one, don't quit. Find electrical companies, go in, talk to them, and figure out what you have to do. And man, just keep on talking to them. Chris is right on IB4, man. That's awesome. It's never too late to start. Lots of great programs to study estimating, planning, project management without having to do full college programs.
Yes.
And you can specialize in so many things. And, you know, you've got kids that are coming in the first year, they learn different things that cross the board. Combo unions are the same way. We're going to teach you OSHA. Yeah. We're going to teach you safety. We're going to teach you tools. Then the next year it's okay. Do you want to be a plumber? Do you want to be a pipe fitter? Do you want to be a welder? And they start kind of easing you in the right directions.
And when you're talking about going to like a trade school, it's not like you're going to semester-long classes. I know a lot of times you can actually knock out a level 1 certificate in a semester or a semester and a half. You're talking about a 4 to 6 month period at the most. And now you have a certification from a secondary education, you know, a school, and go get a job.
And guys, it's so important. I mean, it really is. The more you can learn, the more you can educate yourself, the more you can grow, and the more money you can make. Jason Smith says, I was thinking about getting a body cam to protect me and the company. What's your opinion? There's nothing wrong with that. There's, I mean, literally nothing at all wrong with that. I like the ones that are in the vehicles. I like the ones that people wear either in their pocket or clipped on or something like that. Yeah, sometimes it can cover your tail. Chris says, yes, 100%. Your driver's license is critical. Don't do anything to lose that. Drive safe and never under the influence. No reason. Take the Uber.
Definitely call the Uber.
Man, y'all got it easy these days. You just pick up your phone and say, hey, here, get me home.
Yeah.
It's that easy. So, yeah, use it. And I know people that literally, if they know they're going out and they know I'm probably going to have a couple of drinks, they'll Uber there. That way it's not like I got to come back tomorrow and get my car.
Yep.
They just Uber there, and it's like, you know what? I don't have any choice. I'm Ubering home. Tess says, thank you so much for the response and the advice. You're welcome. Ryan Lamb says, Roger, have you ever used the rigid pipe freezing machine before? Man, I haven't. I've seen it wasn't a rigid, it was a smaller one, or one of the small ones. I don't remember what brand it was, but I want to try one of those because I froze pipes that are like 12-inch. And there's companies here in Dallas that when you're working commercial, they can come do that. And they can freeze it. You have your welders there ready to cut flanges in, put valves in, do whatever. And man, to cut that apart and look down in there and see that block of ice and know that that's what's holding 50, 60, 80 pounds of pressure behind it. It's like, man, that is crazy. Hamza Ali says, I'm 22 looking for an electrician apprenticeship, but struggle looking for companies. And like I said a while ago, brother, keep on looking. Isaiah says, I showed up to work 7 days a week doing maintenance in Maine for almost 2 months. Then I came back here to Vermont the beginning of the month to make things right and get back into plumbing. And there's some good companies in Vermont. Oh, God. I used to have the caps up here. Something Mountain. Man, I had some guys from Vermont come down when we had the big freeze here in 2021. Came down, helped us out. It was really, really cool. Chris's trades is freedom, man. As long as you have tools and hands, you can make money. And that is so true.
Sometimes you don't even have the tools, the company will provide them for you.
Yeah. You got to work for the right company, and the union does that. They'll supply your tools, and then they give you, I think, 10 cents an hour to maintain them, unless that's gone up. Super Guy says, what's both your opinions, owning a company or being a field manager? Owning a company, you have a lot of stress with payment, angry customers, and etc. But managing a company is less stress. Thoughts? Number one, there's no less stress. Like when I was in the union, I had a superintendent or a vice president tell me one day, he says, Roger, you're one of 5 people we got that can manage $20 million projects. Now that's a lot of work, and it takes a while to do that, but you're responsible for every penny on that job. And I ran those jobs like it was my business. And you've got 3 things you're expected to do. Get that job done on time, get that job done under budget, and get that job done safely. Nobody gets hurt. And that's what it's all about. I don't care if you're the manager or the owner, the pressure's on you.
And I think it's really what you want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy with just clocking in, clocking out, getting your 2 weeks off, 4 weeks off every year? Or do you want a little bit more? Because what I teach my kids is you can't make any money working for someone else.
And you can make good money. I'll put it that way. You can make good money. I've got some amazing bonuses. You can make good money. I've made over $100,000 a year probably since 1999 in the trades. Okay, it's 24 years, guys. But you can make great money when you own your own company.
When you're a license holder.
It is completely different. You can literally make as much money as you want to make because you determine how big you grow. You determine how many people work for you. You determine what margins you set. You determine your KPIs, what you're going to look at, how you're going to grow, how much more money you spend on marketing to make it grow faster. All that is up to you. So they're both good, but don't think there's not any stress just because you're managing somebody else's company. They're on you to take the stress off of them. Yep. They expect you to do everything so they don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
So true. Work hard, play hard, Uber and construction cronies. There you go. Cambridge Hartley says 2 years ago, started watching your content. I got hired by a mechanical contractor as a trainee plumber and now studying for my journeyman. It's been a great journeyman. It's been a great journey. Love plumbing. Well, number one, Cambridge, thank you very much. Yeah. I heard that message so much the past few days. Being at Skills USA, being in Atlanta. And I mean, it wasn't just plumbers. I had electricians come up and say, dude, I watch your videos every day. and it's neat what I get to do. So, Cambridge, thank you. I appreciate it. I do. I love what I get to, and I like this too. This is really important. Straight out of high school too.
Nice.
So, Texas has a deal with the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners. The TEA and TWC got together. Now they can teach plumbing in high school, and I think Frank Denton told me that there's 70 something schools in Texas doing this now, and TWC will even give the schools money to help build the program to do it. So anybody that can come into school, they come in their freshman year and take normal classes. Then if they decide they want to do plumbing, and that school has the curriculum and everything set up, over the next 3 years, they take plumbing. And if they pass that, the day they graduate, they're eligible to go take their tradesman exam. That starts them out at about $50-something thousand a year. I pay tradesmen, or was when I had my company, $25 an hour. I would pay them more than that now because that was 2 or 3 years back. So, guys, you can make great money in the trades.
Right out of high school.
Right out of high school.
You can go flip burgers or you can become a tradesman. Which one do you want?
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I flipped burgers when I was 16 in high school. So that's what I did 1 week. 2 weeks later, I was plumbing, and I never went back to flipping burgers, just so you know.
Yeah. And that's the deal. Like, we really have got to start doing a better job of getting the word out to not only like the school, you said there's 70 school districts.
Yeah.
Doing it. That's not a lot in the state of Texas. When you really think about it,
No,
that's not a lot.
Considering there's, 2,000 counties, I think, in Texas.
So like
if 200 and something.
If you're a plumber and you need to go to your school board meetings. And you need to ask your school board, why are you
we
not
teaching plumbing?
this?
Yeah, that's
there it
huge.
is again. You got to take part in it, or it's going to go away.
And I did that with the Capitol when we were fighting for our license. I was taking off work, going down to Austin to make sure we all had a plumbing license. And man, there's so much politics in plumbing, it would blow your mind. In any trade, guys, get involved.
Get involved. Go down there, beat on their door, call your superintendent. This has got to be done, not only just in plumbing, but like HVAC, welding, cosmetology.
Well, Texas right now is teaching plumbing, but they're already working with TDLR to make electrical and HVAC the same way here in the next few years.
Well, a young lady can do cosmetology in high school and come out and cut hair full time. You
bet.
Right out of high school.
Yep. My sister went to cosmetology school. She quit school at the age of 15. And man, the probation officer said, look, I'm not going to get onto her as long as she's doing something. Mm-hmm. She enrolled in cosmetology school, and he helped her get in. He said, look, because they said, well, we've got a minimum age. That way they don't quit school. He said, look, she's already quit school. She's not going to go, so let's go ahead and do something productive.
Yep.
So, man, by the time she was 16 or 17, she was making money. Tina says, Leak Pro. Tina, make sure that Colton, Randy, if y'all are listening, please contact Tina. Make sure that we've got her information and get her what we were supposed to get, because I thought, Tina, I really was told everything had already been sent out. The apprentice says, then I went to the office a week later to follow up in person. I saw their trucks on a job site right next to the office. I had my tape measure in my pocket. I stood on the sidewalk and was yada, yada, yada. Kyler Webb says, started my own plumbing company about 6 months ago in Tennessee. I'm in BNI and use Facebook ads, but still struggling to get my name out. How can I generate more calls without spending a lot of money? Number one, I would do social media. I wouldn't do Facebook ads. I would do Facebook generic starting out. I would do YouTube generic. I would do TikTok generic. I would do anything generic that I could.
It was returned because UPS can't deliver to a P.O. box. Now it's lost currently. I'm looking into it.
Okay. Tina, Randy just jumped in and says, look, it was returned because apparently you gave us a P.O. box, and UPS does not deliver to a P.O. box. The package has been lost, but they're looking for it. So Randy's aware of it, and we are trying to figure it out. Kyler Webb says started my company. Okay, yeah. So look, you've got to. I'll tell you what I did, because in the beginning you've either got money or time. I had all the time in the world in the beginning, no money. So I walked into real estate offices and said, look, I would love to do a class to teach your real estate agents about plumbing. And I, at the time, was specializing in slab leaks and leak detection. So the cool thing about that is I was doing things a lot of other companies weren't. But one thing I started doing to market my company is I'd tell real estate agents, we'll come out and do a sewer water test on your house. And we had a decent price for it. But I said, look, this makes sure they're not buying a house with a leak under the slab. And that helped us explode. And then, and that took no money, but then that helped us grow on our leak detection business, because now when there was a leak, we'd go to the seller and say, look, you've got a leak. Look, I just want to help you find it. Here's what we can do. Here's how we do isolation. Here's how we do this. And they'd normally hire me because they knew now they had to tell people about it. The Fixer's in the house. What is up, brother? How are you doing? Good to see you in here. Guys, that's another YouTube channel. You need to go check it out. Hit the button, ring the bell, subscribe, do what it takes. Great channel. Ryan Land says, I start med gas certification training at the hall on the 9th. Never be afraid to continue learning and making yourself more available. Ryan, good for you. Isaiah says, watching. No one said anything to me. It was a nice sunny day. A few hours passed by and the business owners came out and asked me if I could go home. And I explained how I interviewed with them. Yeah. And I don't know that I just go out and hang out there. I'd go in the door and say, hey guys, look, I was told the other day that I got hired. Do y'all need me or not? Or if they've come out and asked you to leave, now I'd start looking for another job. Yeah. Anyone here used the Ramberger Roman 4000? Don't even know what that one is, brother. Isaiah Paris says, this company and I wanted to be on the job, but they were all terrified of me like I was a criminal. Felt like so after that, so to them, they just kept asking me to go home. Yeah, then Isaiah, don't waste your time. Yeah. If they've told you they don't want you there, then go apply for another job. I don't know what's going on with them, or maybe just call them and say, hey, this is Ryan. Y'all said I was hired. Now you're not calling me for work. Is there something wrong? And ask them. And if they don't tell you, then just leave. Ryland says 2021 freeze determined Southern Oklahoma, just like North Texas, not a single transition fitting. Yeah. We had people coming from Virginia and they were bringing fittings with them. Isaiah says people feel uncomfortable with me. They're on the sidewalk watching. And then the plumbers ended up leaving and going back to their office next door. Felt like they were leaving the job early. Isaiah, look, you don't want a bad reputation. You don't want to be a stalker. You may have scared them where they're like, look, we don't want this guy around. Yeah. Apply for a job and either go to work or don't, but don't just stand there on the sidewalk watching them or waiting to see if they're going to call you. You got to be careful how you come across to them. That may be the reason they're like, look, we don't want this guy. Loic Comto says, I'm not a handyman, but took 1 year of plumbing course in Canada. Passed my Block 1 exam, working now towards Block 2. Wish I could get a good hands-on training and be as good as you are. Number one, find a job. Apply. Now, I'm not sure how it is in Canada. No, we're looking for plumbers all over the United States. I definitely try to get out and find a job, see what I could do. Jason Smith says, my manager says you need to have the customer's permission to record them in the home. Is that true? I just don't want to get in trouble for recording without the customer's permission, so ask for their permission. And just tell them, say, I'll wear the camera around to record to make sure that I'm doing things right. That way I can learn and go back. Is that okay with you? Normally they'll say yes. First year apprentice, fresher can take how long to start doing stuff on his own? In Texas, you've got to be an apprentice for 2 years, at least 2 years, pass the tradesman exam to go out and start doing stuff on your own. But that's not on your own, like your own company. That is working in a vehicle on your own under the vision or under the direct supervision of a responsible master plumber. Yeah, you're not making things good. Chinchilla Boy says, yo, that was my high school teacher in the thumbnail. So I guess you know somebody named Chinchilla Boy.
I don't know who Chinchilla Boy is.
Yep, put your real name in there. Hamza Ali says, if I became an electrician in the next 3 years from now, I'm in South Africa, I want to move to the U.S. Which state is the best to work for as an electrician? type of state do you want to live in? Do you want to live in the ice cold? Do you want to live where it's warm? That's up to you, man. What's happening? Los Buddha says, do you think a company who pay for trade schools pay less? Because that is starting in the company. I'm in Texas in a third year, and I know I can make more hourly at a different company. Do you think a company who pays for trade school pays less? No, I think companies that pay for trade school, look, they want you to learn. They want you to grow. They want you to be good. I really don't think they're going to pay less, but it's a possibility.
I know some will make you sign a contract for a little while that you agree to work with them for so many years that they pay for it. But
yeah. Flipping burgers in California pays $20 an hour.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all are messing up the world. I'm joking. But in a way, y'all are. Yeah, because y'all's minimum wage is like $15.
Yeah.
Ten Dong Jr. says, Roger, you made me love plumbing. I'm 23, based in Canada, looking forward to going to trade school this September to study plumbing. Wish me luck. Man, I wish you nothing but luck. I want it to turn out amazing for you. I really hope it does. Yeah, Isaiah, you're scaring the heck out of people. Quit.
Yeah.
Super Guy says, I feel like there's a way, I feel like there's way too many plumbing companies out there to compete with. A lot of people in my area just search for the cheapest quotes and don't want to pay big money anymore. It's ridiculous. You know, I tell people, look, I've got videos out. So look, I'm not the cheapest plumber in town. If you want the cheapest, don't call me. Matter of fact, I'll tell you who the cheapest are. You can call them. And when they screw it up, we'll come back and fix it. But it's going to cost you more. You can sell value. You know, you could say the same thing about there's too many car manufacturers. I don't want to be Mercedes. I don't want to be Lamborghini because they're too expensive. You know what? There's people out there that aren't going to buy it if it's not a Mercedes or a Lamborghini. They won't buy a Kia. So, and you can be whatever kind of plumber you want to be, but you've got to figure that out. Thank you, Miss Tina. Jose Paris, you're good. Ferrerio Lima says straight from Brazil. Good to have you in here. Thank you so much. Chris says, sorry, guys. The Rothenberger Romax 4000 Pro Press, Pot Press. Cool. I have not tried that one. Yeah, move on. Thank you. IB4 says plumbers and plumbing have saved more lives than doctors. That is a true story.
Very true.
So let's talk more about, and we got a few comments about plumbing is easy and a teenager can do it. What's the average age of students in your class?
They come in as a freshman and they leave out as a senior, so anywhere from 14 to 19.
Okay, 14 to 19. So 14 leaves at the age of 18. They're about 17, 18. When they get out, what all can they do? Your students, what are they required to be able to do?
Top out and trim.
Top out a house.
And trim it. That's what they're required to do. Cut gas lines, run some gas lines, be able to pressure test and run it and use a test ball. Pretty much anything that they would need to do for a top out or a trim, that's the goal.
Think about that, guys. If I'm a plumbing company and I'm hiring and I need somebody, if a kid walks in and says, look, I can change out a water heater. I can change out or repair a kitchen faucet, a lavatory faucet, a toilet. I just need a job. I'm like, dude, you can do all that and you just graduated high school?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm interested. To be honest, I'm probably paying them a couple of dollars an hour more than I am somebody who walks in and says, look, I'm green. I know nothing about this, but I want to learn how to do this. Okay. I'm still interested in talking to you. But when you come in and you say, I took this in high school. Luckily, your school's enrolled in the syllabus where you can do the plumbing exam. But I'm interested. I want somebody with experience. Now, don't get me wrong. I love hiring green people because then they don't have bad experience. Because a lot of people learn from some bad plumbers, and I hate to tell y'all that. all plumbers are not created equal. Some are really, really good. Some suck. Sorry, I gotta fix my app. I think I might have to do it again. Oh, there we go. So TikTok, Instagram, I just fixed that for y'all. If you're interested, jump over to YouTube, search the word plumbing, look for the mustache, jump into the live stream. If you've got questions, I'd love to hear from you. But jump over here and tell us you're here. Tell us what you're doing. Super guy says 4th of July coming up. What are your plans? What are you doing for the 4th of July?
Going to my wife's family reunion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
gonna
cool.
be, yeah, we go every year. It's an awesome thing.
Where's family from?
A lot of them from Greenville, a lot from Louisiana. So they do it every 4th year, and every 4th, and they've done it for I don't know how long. So
I'm probably going up to my sister's. My sister lives up on the Red River. You know, I hate being that close to Oklahoma. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But me and my brother always buy a ton of fireworks, and we're buying more expensive fireworks every year. So this year we stopped and talked to the fireworks stand that we always get it from, and it's like, look, we want commercial grade, we want this, we want this. So I've literally built launchers, and we've got 90 launch tubes, and we will fill them up with commercial grade fireworks. So we do all kinds of crazy stuff. And my brother he's an IT guy. So, I mean, he's like, when we think computers, we think of a computer. When he thinks computer, he thinks of the entire network, how they tie together, how you keep other people from getting in, stuff like that. So he wires everything. Man, I just help drop balls in the tubes, fuses sticking out, and he'll wire it up to where it all goes off like it's supposed to. So It's really pretty neat. Ethan Turner says, trying to figure out a program to go into, welding versus HVAC. I tell you what, you can't go wrong with either one of those. I think welding is an amazing career because the union says whoever owns the welders owns the work. And they want welders. They want all of them. They want all the good ones. There's an amazing school up in Wyoming. Man, go up there and check out the Welding Academy. It is freaking phenomenal. Western Welding. Go up there and check it out. It's amazing. They're training so many people, and they teach you they teach you in about 6 months what the UA teaches you in about 5 years. So get in there and learn it. You can literally walk out of there and go make over $100,000. HVAC is great because you can make more money than that in the long run. Don't get me wrong, as a welder, you can make great money. People up welding on the pipelines that are working 10, 12, 14 hours a day, these guys are making,
killing it.
yeah, 8 to 10 grand a week, 5 to 10 grand a week. So you can make whatever kind of money you want to make.
And I think also in that, do you want to travel?
Yeah.
Welders travel a lot.
Welders can travel, which is cool. Do you have to travel? No. You can get a job right here in Dallas, Texas. But you can say, look, I want to go up and freeze my tail off and work all winter long. And yeah.
I know a welder that went and welded for like 8 months in the Virgin Islands. I mean, come on.
Not a bad gig.
No.
And if I was a welder, I'd want to go down to Houston to Oceanic and become an underwater welder. I've always thought that would just freaking be cool. You make good money. You don't work near that much, but it's dangerous. You got to be careful. Darnella Slack says, what would you recommend to someone who recently got out of the military? Would recommend me to go to trade school or try to go in green? And you can go either way. Number one, you're gonna have a mental awareness that a lot of kids right out of high school or a lot of kids that are coming from office jobs may not have. You're gonna be disciplined. You're gonna understand a good work ethic. Darnell, my thought is, I don't mind a trade school. I've been with Jimmy Bibb down at Texas State Technical College here in Atlanta the other day at Skills. We went out to dinner. My thought is you can do what you want to do, but if I were a veteran, I would be looking at how do I get in and learn this quick where I can open my own business and really take good care of my family. Yeah. So you could go to trade school but I'd almost just go to work for an open shop that has a good training center and learn everything that I could. And two, I would want to do residential service where I could open my own business and make good money. So, your thoughts?
Being you're a veteran, I think I speak for a lot of the trade industry. I say thank you for your service.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
also, I just feel as though tradesmen will like, yeah, man, go to work. You know, they'll make sure you learn. I just feel like, I know I would. When a veteran walks in, I think we treat him a little different.
You bet.
You know,
The neat thing is too, trade school might be good if you've got VA money.
Yeah.
So if you've still got VA money, your VA loan or whatever they call it. I had an apprentice that worked for me when I was union, and they were supplementing his income. So you can do pretty good. Andres Hernandez says, I thought plumbing was hard when I started in 2009. Fast forward now, 2024. Wow. And guys, look, it can be hard. We talked earlier about a shovel. It's, there's parts of it that can be hard, but there's also parts of it that it's just using your mind. Yeah. So the opportunities out there are great.
It's called experience.
Yeah. What was your area of work, Darnell? California, Silicon Valley. Kevin Lima says, if you're concerned about long-term physical demand, which trade would you suggest getting into? Number one, all the trades can be hard on your body. What I recommend is eat well, exercise well, take care of yourself, and understand that from the beginning. I mean, I remember throwing 6-inch cast iron up on my shoulder, carrying it from one end of a floor to the other, climbing up a ladder, and then rolling it into clevis hangers. That's stupid. Okay. But I remember doing it. And I was running storm drains, and I was doing that every day. And it will put a wear and tear on your body. Nowadays, it'd be like, you know what? Give me a roustabout. I'm going to strap it. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to slide it in. So, yeah. I was 35, 31 when I was in. Not sure what you mean by there, brother. Swervelo says, hey, Roger, been working for a plumbing parts distributor for 2 years, learning what's what in the warehouse. Want to move to sales eventually. What knowledge do you expect your suppliers to have? I expect them to understand what parts they sell. If I call for a certain fitting and you don't have it, what can you build? What can you make me? If I call for a 1x1 by half inch T and you don't have it, are you smart enough to put together a 1x1 by 1 T with a 1 by half fitting reducer? That way I just make one extra joint, but I can still make it work. MOS Flo Orlando says, I'm a Lowe's appliance installer helper at $16 an hour. My mentor is a $25 an hour on commission. So he averages 6 to 9 hours of pay for my 2 to 3 hours of work. I've been here a year. Should I find other employment? If you're not good enough to move up to be that head installer, you might look at it. But if you've been doing stuff like that, you could probably walk into a plumbing company and say, look, I've been working as an appliance installer. I think I can help y'all when it comes to installing water heaters or whole house water filtration systems and stuff like that. Super Guy says, Roger, do you make more money as of now owning your company or more from social media? And what are your retirement plans? Selling your company or going full on social media? You are awesome. Well, number one, Super Guy, thank you. I actually sold my plumbing company 2.5 years ago. I retained part ownership, but yeah, that was my plan. I had to because I was getting to the point I either need to go all in on Social Security or quit. All in on Social Security, all in on social media, or slow down on social media and go all in on plumbing. I was trying to do both of it, and it was just hard to do. So, yeah, I went all in on social media. Now I travel the country. I speak at social media conferences. I speak at trades conferences. I teach people how to become speakers. So I'm doing all kinds of different things. And I'm making more money now doing that than I was even owning a plumbing company. Before I was a motor transportation operator. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can bring to help. Did you see what the DC guys did? Don't guess so. Tress Fort says, plumbing is an amazing career. I quit healthcare November 8th, 2021, started plumbing the next day, had his red seal in Canada exactly 3 years later this fall. Way better money and freedom. Guys, that's big. Okay. Anybody can get into plumbing and learn it. And plumbing and HVAC, electrical, carpentry, it doesn't matter. Get in and make it. Trustfort says I'll make $60 an hour, 2.5 years into the trade. Yeah. Guys, you can make great money. Keys to success, health is wealth. And the well professor, I love that. You've got to take care of you. And welders probably so even more than others because you're in a rough position sometimes. You've got to get in a bad spot. I've seen welders that had to lay on their back and work. So it can be really tough. Kevin Alvarez says, I used already an advertising platform to grow my business, but I can't make it, and I'm about to close it. Any advice? Yeah. Number one, Kevin, reach out to us. Reach out to me through LinkedIn. We're working with a product called Go High Level, and I've got to tell you, we're putting together funnels for people that want to grow their businesses. And man, I think it's going to be a great deal. It's a CRM that I just think is phenomenal. So yeah, we should definitely talk. Trustfort says, and move ergonomically when lifting heavy stuff or needing to apply force in uncomfortable positions. It's all about setting your body up in the right position. And you've got to take care of you. And it's funny because a lot of these big commercial companies nowadays, they have a stretch plan in the morning. You get up, you stretch. Everybody stretches. You do it as a group. You get everybody together at the toolbox. You go through the morning meeting. We call it a morning huddle. But part of it is stretching and getting ready to go to work. And some companies are even doing it again right after lunch. Just because you've been sitting down for about 30, 45 minutes, you got to stretch again. It can get crazy. Ivy Force says you should go with what you want. Flo Orlando says, I'm a Lowe's installer helper, 16 an hour. Okay, so we talked about that one. Hamza Ali says, I did electrical engineering at a technical college. I'm from South Africa. Looking for an apprenticeship leadership or learnership. What are companies looking for if they want interview you for an apprentice? We want people that want to come in that want to learn and grow. And, part of the deal that I do in my getting into the trades course, I teach people to go through the interview process. And it was funny because I was being interviewed by a lady from PHCC for a podcast. And she was asking about my courses. And she's like, Roger, what can you really teach them? And I'm like, wow. I said, well, hey, have you hired many people lately? And she's like, yeah, I've hired a dozen. I said, okay, do me a favor. Let's pretend I'm walking in for an interview, okay? She says, yeah. So I walk in. I'm like, hello, Miss Beck. I'm Roger Wakefield. Number one, before we get started, thank you for this opportunity. I just want to take a minute to say thank you. I know you're interviewing a lot of people, and I know this can be strenuous and a pain in the tail sometimes. I just want to take a moment and say thank you. So then you sit down. You go through the interview process. Number one, if they ask you anything where you might need to look at your phone, say, you know what, I turned my phone off before I came in. I didn't want to bother you. But if you really want that answer, I can turn it on now, or I can turn it on when we're done. And that lets them know, okay, wow, wear good clothes. Don't come in your sweats. Don't come in your ragged old tennis shoes, your shorts, or anything like that. Dress like the job that you're applying for. If you think an apprentice would wear nice jeans and a shirt tucked in and work boots, wear it. Come in with a notebook. Have some questions in there that you've already done research on the company, but these are questions you couldn't find. When did y'all start the company? What are the company's mission and vision statements? And when they're done, always ask, or when they're done, they always say, okay, do you have any questions? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. One of my most important questions is, if I come to work here, how does it make me a better person? Because I'm a father, or I want to be a father, or I want to get married, and I want to be a better person. How does this help me? And when they answer it, then say, okay, what type of a training program do you have? And don't ask questions they've already asked you. but say, okay, what type training program do you have? Because I want to be a great plumber and I'm willing to work hard, but I need to go to work for a company that's going to teach me and teach me well. And when you finish and they say, wow, you know what? Thank you very much. All right, we'll let you go. Or do you have anything else? It's like, I have one more question. Have I answered your questions enough to let you know that I'm the right person for the job or not? That's normally enough right there to make them say, wow. And if they say, well, yes, you did really good, but we've still got some more to interview, say, okay. And when you leave, get up and go over and shake that hand again and say, I just wanted to tell you thank you. This has been such a pleasure. This is a company I would really like to work for. So I appreciate you taking the time. And then turn around, walk out, and I looked at her, and her jaw's hanging down. I said, so what happens when somebody comes in and interviews like that? She said, oh, they ain't walking out the door. I'm hiring them right then. And it's like, I get it. That's what I teach people. And it blew her mind because she said, I've never had anybody walk in like that. And I'm like, man, I can change your game. So when you go into interview, you've got to be different. You've got to separate yourself from every part. You want to look the part. You want to act the part. You want to act like the professional they want to hire. And that's the biggest deal. My biggest deal, Rogers, I have no social skills, and that's what holds me back. You know, you can develop social skills. You can learn to look somebody in the eye. You can learn to shake their hand. You can learn to listen when you communicate with them. If you can learn those three things right there, you can be amazing. IB4 says, so want more females in plumbing? Roger. So why aren't there more? Look, I think there should be a lot more females in the trade. I think that's how we grow faster. Yeah. And females in the trade normally move up and make more money. Hate to tell you guys that. Super Guy says, wow, I didn't know you sold your company. Now you're living life, doing what you love without hurting your body. You truly are the goal I want to become. Thank you for sharing and helping all of us grow. Well, thank y'all for watching. Y'all make it where I can do what I do. Kevin Lima says, I'm interested in hearing your thought on sales careers within the trades. Which three industries would you recommend getting into for sales? HVAC, number one. Yeah. You can make the most money because, I mean, you're selling the most expensive equipment. Probably plumbing, number two, and electrical, number three. Yeah. That's the way I would rank them. Electrical may come above plumbing, but I think there's more opportunity.
Yeah. And residential especially.
You bet.
Selling faucets and tubs because those things tend to have a high price tag.
Man, it is true. And whole house water filtration systems. That's a big one. You know, if you go to work for a company, you want to make sure they specialize in something. If it's an HVAC company, you want to work for a company that specializes in indoor air quality. They've got air filtration. They do indoor air quality testing. If it's a plumbing company, you want to make sure they do whole house water filtrations, slab leaks, tankless water heaters. Electrical companies, you want to make sure they do a lot of panel change outs. You want to make sure that they do whole house GFCIs, maybe even solar or wind turbines. There's so many different things out there that we all need to be. And HVAC, I would be getting into geothermal right now because it's going to be the future. And you can be able to make a lot of money at it. Flo Orlando says, I do all of the Lowe's installs completely by myself. The only reason I don't have my own van is because we're in a rural area, but I do all the work, mentor sets in the van all day. And you know what? There's some people like that. All I can tell you is, look, if you're doing all the work, I'd go to work for another company and try to make more money and say, look, I want to learn and grow and get a license and do all this cool stuff. The opportunity's entirely up to you.
Yeah, you're only stuck if you choose to be.
And you know, another thing I tell people, and I say this a lot, guys, is learn your way up. Think about what you're doing. Think about where you're at and what can you learn to help you get a better position? What can you learn to improve your skill sets? What can you learn to help you move up, move out, whatever it is? And you may say, well, I've been at the same company. This is all I know. Okay, it's time to go somewhere else and learn something else.
I think it's the old saying, if you're the smartest man in the room, you're
in the wrong room.
You need to go find a new room.
Absolutely. And that's such a big deal. So, guys, it's up to y'all what you do. And we talk about this all the time about learning new things. If you're the one doing all the work and your journeyman's out sitting in the car, number one, you're learning things well, especially if he's coming in looking at it and saying, okay, you did this right. Now, does that suck sometimes? Absolutely. But one day he's not going to show up and you're going to look at the owner and say, look, I'll go install that. I can do it. And they're like, wait, you can do this? Like, I do it every day. Well, now you've got an opportunity to prove yourself. Or maybe one day you go into the owner and say, hey, you know what? Let him go do that one. I'll go do this one. And they're like, wait, you can go do that all by yourself? That's how I realized I could do plumbing. I remember driving into work one day thinking, I figured it out. I know why we do it. And when I got in, my superintendent says, hey, Roger, I want you to go over and start cutting that conduit that we were using for stakes for the plumbing. I said, hey, instead of doing that, can I go start topping out that next building? He said, you think you can do it? And I said, yeah. He said, then go. Guys, it's up to us what we do, and we control our future. You got to be able to step in and say, hey, I want to do this. Yep. Rusty, this has been fun.
I've enjoyed it.
Tell everybody again who you are and what you do.
Rusty Lorman, I teach AC and plumbing at Naaman Forest High School in Garland, Texas.
In the Garland Independent School District. I am a product of that. It's kind of scary. Many, many years ago. I've been over there and seen Rusty's class and talked to students before. Man, you do some good stuff.
We try.
So it's great. I wish more high schools had plumbing and HVAC, construction management. I wish they had everything. Again, guys, on TikTok, Instagram, thank y'all for being here. I do appreciate you jumping in. I know the cameras are wobbling right now. I'm hitting the table a little hard. But, man, this has been a great day. I love having you in here. High school students in Texas have a great opportunity. A lot of schools do have plumbing or HVAC. A lot of schools have a plumbing curriculum set up through the Texas State Board, TEA, and TWC. So these kids are going to be able to get their licenses a lot faster. And I think that is phenomenal.
Yes.
Isaiah Paris says, I'm going to college for plumbing in a couple of months. How do I make the most of it? Keep on learning.
Yeah. It's 110 up to you, bro.
Yeah. Chris at Construction Cronies says, all right, I'm on site now. Got to go. Great show, gents. Yes, Roger, I replied the other day on LinkedIn. Keep on keeping. Brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you're doing. Guys, if you have not done it, go over to Construction Cronies, hit subscribe, ring the bell, watch what he does. It's amazing. Flo Orlando says, thank you so much. Guys, thank y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all being here. It's such a wonderful day. It's nice to be back in here and getting to do the things that I do. We don't always get to do that because we travel around so much and do different things, but it does make it amazing. So if you like what you've heard today, give us a thumbs up. If not, and you want to give us a thumbs down, at least hit it twice. That way it goes away. And I look forward to seeing y'all. I believe I'm in town most of the month, so I will see y'all again soon. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. Stay out of trouble. And let me see, when is July 4th? Next week. So I'll see y'all before then. Have an amazing day. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, helping you make more money in the trades.